Hello everyone, it's Ken again. If you haven't watched my previous video where I shared 5 basic tips to sell your house fast and at a good price, do click on the link above or below. I'll put it somewhere. You can watch that one first, or if you want you can watch this one first as well, doesn't really matter. Yeah. So let's not waste time. Here are 5 advanced tips which I myself use to help my sellers get the best deals. Let's go. Advanced tip number 1, timing. If you were to list your house in the market while competing with 1 or 2 desperate sellers, you will have to drop your price and expectations in order to sell your place. Where else, if you are able to wait, time it so that your competitors within the same development are either price and market value or maybe slightly higher. This way is more likely that you will be able to extract more value out of the sale because buyers will be comparing your house with the others in the market. Besides that, also look out for the general economy and property market. For example, if the supply in the market is low, demand will be high, and your property will likely be able to generate more interest, and therefore you have a greater chance of being able to fetch a higher price. Especially for those looking for investment properties, we always plan 3 to 5 years ahead so we can determine the best entry point to enter low and also the best exit point to exit high. Advanced tip number 2, get everyone out of the house. Of course, besides the buyer and the agent, I understand sometimes it's hard to clear the house during viewing timings, especially when dealing with a tenanted unit, but in most cases I'll do it where possible. When the buyer enters the house and the owners or tenants are around, it's harder for them to get connected to the house emotionally and also tough for them to envision themselves living in that space. And purchasing is very much an emotional decision as well as a logical one, no matter what others say. That's why show flats for new launches are always dressed up very nicely to attack the hearts of potential buyers. In cases where it's tough to empty the house, maybe there's a baby sleeping in one room or for other reasons, I will usually go around the house and cover up like personal items like maybe big wedding photos hanging on the wall somewhere, family photos here and there and stuff. It will help a lot actually. Yeah. Advanced tip number 3, understanding the buyer. This one is hard to fully explain in a short video like this, and it's also a hard skill to master, but basically every buyer has their own criteria and requirements that they need to tick off while they are searching for a house. I will always ask questions to dig out their requirements from these buyers, either through words or looking at their body language when I ask those questions. Knowing their criteria is important because you can choose to talk more about the parts of the house that fit into those requirements or criteria, and also divert some parts of the house that do not fit those criteria. Besides that, you also can kill off some of the competition if you know they have a certain criteria that this buyer definitely cannot accept. Advanced tip number 4, getting feedback and following up. Last year I sold a house which I've marketed for a year due to certain challenges. The buyer actually ended up being the first buyer that viewed the house 1 year ago. I followed up with her for about a year before she decided to buy the house when her financial situation improved. Following up with everyone that have viewed the place so far is very important. Besides obviously trying to find out if they are interested in the unit, more importantly I try to get feedback on what they liked or didn't like about the unit. Most people skip the second step. From such feedback, I'm able to make improvements to present the house better, as well as optimize my viewing page for the future viewers or buyers. And finally, advanced tip number 5, the negotiation. Negotiation on the surface looks quite simple, but it's actually a very deep process and topic. Every step of the negotiation process is very important and should be well calculated before executing. One misstep would mean losing the buyer or even ending up with a lower price for the property. A good negotiator will know how to tread on that limit of pushing the price without losing that buyer. Usually, the closer you can get to that limit means the higher price you are able to achieve. You have to understand the buyer well enough and also know how much he or she likes the unit, because how much they like the unit would usually mean how much they are willing to pay for it. Sometimes even if it means stretching their budget slightly to get the deal done. There is also that important time element to negotiations. Depending on the situation, some negotiations need to be done quickly, maybe for those impulse buyers or impatient buyers, while others need a bit more time in order to extract the best price for the sale. Yeah, so that's it. Hope you find the tips helpful. Do share this video if you know of someone who might be trying to sell their place. And also remember to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.